Hello composers, Mike here. Are you looking for great woodwinds for your music? Well, in this video we are going to take a look at VSL synchronized woodwinds, and I will give you a sound demonstration as well as show you my favorite things about this instrument library. Alright, now let's play some of the instruments and articulations inside VSL Woodwinds. So let's start with some sound demonstrations. I've loaded up Flute 1 here in the Synchron player, and I'm just going to perform some melodies while changing the dynamics and vibrato, something like this. I really love the tone of this instrument. So that was Flute 1. Let's try the Piccolo flute. And let's load out the short notes. As you can see, you have staccato, portato, short, medium, legato, repetition, and repetition patches here. But what's even cooler is that you can assign it to what I like to do. Instead of using key switches, learn this by dim control or whatever this is, A. And then you can assign A to, for example, yeah, let's use controller CC2 here, and let's use velocity on CC1, which means now I can control the dynamics by this. But I can also control the articulation with this fader. As you can see, CC2 is now mapped to dim A, which is mapped here, which means I can go from staccato to a bit longer note. Okay, so it has to load them in first. Let's play them so they are loaded, like so. Beautiful. Piccolo flute, of course, is great in the high range for that shimmery tone. Then you actually get two different oboes, French and Vienna. So let's check out those. Let's do the long notes here, normal and marcato, all right. And as you can see, you can actually play longer notes, but if you make it like so, and the articulations are clearly laid out here, as you can see, the main articulations and then the type. So I can go from C is the key switch here, let's see, down here, clearly marked in magenta here, to marcato, so like so. Or you might want to map it again like I do to dim controller, so I can assign it to, let's see, it's on 3 now, which is this. And this is now on vibrato, but you can use a crossfade vibrato and activate crossfade setting on this. Now this is on C, and C is, let's see, CC20. Let's change that to CC2. So I can now control the vibrato here. Vibrato, no vibrato. And crossfade in between. So I can do it like so. So let's change to the Vienna oboe instead. Let's do the legato here, auto speed. So it takes a while because when I change this, it loads the articulations as I go and start to play them, which of course saves RAM. And then they have English horn here. Starts with the short notes. Let's go for the dynamics so you can see what you can do here. Because all of these instruments basically have this, most of them have the same type of layout for the articulation. So short notes, staccato, portato, all these, long notes, normal marcato, with or without vibrato, legato, normal fast legato or auto speed, legato options, dynamics, for forzato, which of course are, and with fortepiano, these are more marked notes. Then they have special articulations like flutter tongue. Of course, I will use crossfade setting here. Flutter tongue marcato. Staccato or normal flutter tongue, half tone trill, and whole tone trill. Excellent for adding that exciting feeling that woodwind trills can do. Then they have two different clarinets, both tuned in B flat. Let's do the legato here, auto speed. Okay, I'll need to load the velocity crossfade, so I can do like this. Clarinet is such a nice woodwind instrument because it has this really mellow tone at the lower dynamics. Can be great for those atmospheric background underscores type. And when you get higher, you can really hear the dynamic range. The next clarinet, let's load the legato as well to see if it sounds any different. Load the velocity X phase setting. All right, pretty similar. I can't tell super a lot of difference since I'm not a woodwind player between the different clarinets there, but the bass clarinet definitely is very different because now we can go way, way, way lower, like here. And you clearly see the entire range, by the way, down here on the keyboard, the key switches in blue, and the variations per key switch in magenta or pink here. Let's load the velocity crossfade. I believe this should be default because who does not use crossfade on dynamics? Wow, what a beautiful warm tone. Then we get to the bassoons. Let's do some long notes marcato here. Again, need to load the velocity X fade. Let's try a legato on bassoon. Bassoon 2. Oh yeah, let's do some short notes. Let's see, the key switch is up here. Pretty hard to play with the key switches in my opinion. I would like to save some kind of dim setting on all presets actually. Of course you can save your own presets once you've done them. I will probably save it in my template once I set it all up to what I prefer. And I prefer changing the individual articulations here, the types on CC faders. And finally we have the contrabassoon. Let's do legato so we can hear what we can do with that. Goes, oh man, it goes so low. Now let's continue with my favorite aspects of VSL Woodwinds. Favorite 1. Amazing user interface. So the interface of the Synchron player that the VSL libraries load in is not only beautiful but super practical as well. One of the first things I noticed is that you can actually drag out the user interface here to scale it to your screen, but not only that, you also have right here a percentage setting. So for example, 150% seems to work good for my screen. Now you can also see that there's lots of information and things you can do in the user interface, but as you can scale it out, and it also is very clearly laid out, like all the articulations right here, and all the performance options and mixer down here, the presets, mixer presets right here, everything is very clearly laid out. So that is my first favorite aspect. Favorite 2, many instrument presets. So with VSL Woodwinds, you actually get a lot of presets. If I load up here synchronized woodwinds here in the preset browser, you will see that you get a Piccolo flute, 2 flutes, an oboe, French oboe, Vienna oboe, English horn, clarinet, 2 different clarinets, bass clarinet, and 2 different bassoons and a contrabassoon. Favorite 3, lots of articulations. So not only do you get lots of instrument options, but if you get into the patch browser here and load up synchronized woodwinds, for each of the instrument and instrument variations, you can access all the individual articulations. And if you check here in the actual player here, you can see articulations, lots of different short notes, long notes, and variations of those with marcato, normal, vibrato, no vibrato, lots of legato options, normal, fast, legato, auto speed, vibrato, crossfade vibrato, dynamics like sforzato and fortepiano, trills, flutter tongue, repetition type articulations, and so on. Favorite 4, balanced and beautiful tone. So what I really love about all the Synchron player libraries from VSL is not only the beautiful recorded tone, but that all instruments are balanced in level and placement in the Synchron sound stage. Meaning that if you, for example, play a flute like this, even if you have it on the highest fortissimo setting in dynamics, it will be naturally lower in level than, for example, a brass instrument on the same dynamics, because that is the reality of the instruments in a real orchestral setting. The woodwinds will be naturally lower even at the highest dynamics compared to strings and brass, for example. And by balance, I'm talking not only about the balance in levels between different instruments, but also about the stereo positioning and depth inside the recording stage. Favorite 5, great user control. So if you dive deeper into the interface, you will see that you as a user have lots of control to shape your performances with. So first, this Perform tab, where you can assign CC values or aftertouch or anything really to each of these controllers, like master volume expression. I have CC1 controlling the crossfade of velocity or dynamics. Legato, blur, dynamic range, attack, release, filter, humanize settings, and you also have these really cool controllers here, which I have assigned right now to CC3, controlling the X fade vibrato, so crossfade the vibrato in and out, without, with, so you can crossfade like this, straight tone, and with vibrato. So if I now use both of these controllers, I will get lots of expression inside the performance. And you also have this speed control, which automatically sets the vibrato to normal or fast, and I believe type of legato as well. So normal legato, fast legato. Depending on how I perform the phrase. You can go in further to have this control page, which is basically the performance settings, but on a different view. You can go into the edit mode where you can create envelopes and do lots of really cool settings here. The mix page where you can either dial in your own mix, add effects and so on, or even use the mixer presets here. So this is the classic sound. You might want to go with a close sound, so a preset for that. Or an ambient sound. And of course you can even save your own mixer presets if you want to. So that was VSL Woodwinds. I will leave a link for you in the video description so you can check it out and learn more about this library.